Fatal crash on Claude Noel Highway. Senator Lawrence Hislop saddened by Tobago's crime situation. Monetary donations also needed for islands impacted by Hurricane Beryl. And in sports, Cummings Hill wins Shamfa Cudjoe-Lewis Football League. Good evening, I'm Patricia Nicholson-Richards. Welcome to the Tobago Updates television news for Friday, 12th July 2024. The top story, a tragic vehicular collision has claimed the life of one man. While details remain unclear, Tobago Updates understands that the accident occurred at approximately 1:25 p.m. on the Claude Noel Highway near the Dwight York Stadium. The victim has been identified as Joseph Jack from Trinidad. Well, crime has been a pressing topic in Tobago since the island recorded its first murder on the 1st of January 2024. Since then, the murder toll has continued to rise, with there now being a historic 16 murders for the year thus far. Appearing on Tobago Updates' Good Morning Tobago show, Government Senator Lawrence Hislop expressed sadness at this fact. Ariana Sipiu has the details.
Senator Lawrence Hislop said the crime situation does not sit well with him, describing it as frightening and saddening. He noted that crime has also started to affect people personally.
It doesn't feel good. It doesn't. When you hear people asking you, what's going on in Tobago, boy? You have Tobagonians who are abroad who are saying that they had plans to move here, to move back home when they retired, and now they're revisiting those plans.
Senator Hislop said Tobago is not known as a place where violent crimes occur, adding that a few years ago, the murder rate was relatively low. He highlighted that now there is an issue where guns are more easily accessible, and this does not sit well with him.
That gun culture, you wonder if it is the music that plays into that, if it is the lifestyle of the gangster that is glorified, and it redounds to in our own families and our own societies what we are allowing to happen.
Senator Hislop pointed out that crime has many factors, one being social challenges. He said there has to come a time when people take responsibility for their actions, as authorities cannot predict when a murder is about to happen.
We don't have the ability to do that. But the decision to kill somebody with a gun, the decision to kill somebody, period, boils down to the individual.
Right.
Who sees that as the only choice, the only avenue? And we have to ask ourselves the question, when are we as a people going to take responsibility for where we are as society?
Senator Hislop questioned when were parents going to take responsibility for what goes on in their homes and communities. He said that these murderers and gangsters came from families, and he's wondering what went wrong and how it could be resolved. Ariana Sipiu, Tobago Updates Television News.
Well, there has been an outpouring of support for neighboring islands, Grenada and St. Vincent, affected by Hurricane Beryl's passage. While the goodwill is appreciated, the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, SEDEMA, advises the public to stick to the needs list that has been published or consider monetary donations. When the donations arrive in the affected countries, the challenge then becomes distribution. Country Director Designate for the World Food Programme in the Caribbean, Brian Bogart, explained that they have been working to ensure food reaches people stuck inland in areas like Carriacou.
We will take 4 days to complete the distribution, as I said, because we are going door to door in some of the more hard to reach locations, trying to reach those populations who may not have access to food due to the fact that they're not unable to leave their homes, don't have transport, and that includes elderly, disabled, and other vulnerable populations.
Persons seeking to make donations are asked to coordinate with SEDEMA. To ease the bottleneck of incoming donations, forklifts, trucks, and mobile storage items are also being requested. Meanwhile, Bogart noted that cash donations will go a long way in ensuring the affected people get what they need to recover in the long term.
I think cash assistance will also incentivize market recovery and help people get on the path to recovering their normal day-to-day lives and being able to access goods that they need in the places where they prefer to be, where they are from, and that allows also for infrastructure to be established and for finances to flow through these affected communities to promote economic activity.
SEDIMA's website and social media pages provide information on making monetary donations. The Tobago Emergency Management Agency, TEMA, also lists the needs list of acceptable donations on its social media pages. The priority lists include construction items, medical supplies, and hygiene kits. We'll take a short break and come back with more. Stay with us.
Tonight I am here with the Giant African Snail Eradication Team, a small but dedicated team of men who work tirelessly every night to help suppress and eventually eradicate the giant African snail in the infested areas of Tobago. The giant African snail, as you know, is a pest of several species of plants and is also the vector of the rat lungworm that can cause meningitis in humans. Tonight we want to emphasize the need for public participation. We have our dedicated staff here who work tirelessly on a regular basis to eradicating your spaces. However, the exercise will only be effective if we have cooperation and coordination with members of the public. How can you help to help us eradicate the giant African snail, you may ask? You can do that by checking the division's Facebook page every Monday and you will see the eradication schedule. If you have the time, you can avail yourself by calling or WhatsApping 482-7528, which is the Plant Protection Hotline, and volunteer to work alongside the eradication team. Why is that important to come out and work with the eradication team? We have 5 men here working, but if we have an additional 5 pair of eyes, more snails can be intercepted. So we are calling on everyone who has the time and is able to come out with your closed-toe footwear, preferably boots, but anything that covers your toes, and of course a torch, and come prepared to help us collect and destroy these dangerous and destructive pests.
Welcome back. The Caribbean Catastrophe Risk Insurance Facility, CRIF, is calling on countries in the region to increase their insurance coverage as they experience more frequent and intense storms. This comes as they prepare to release over $44 million to Grenada, which experienced devastation following the passage of Hurricane Beryl less than 2 weeks ago. Speaking at a press conference, CRIF's CEO Isaac Anthony emphasized the need for the Caribbean to have access to relief funds immediately after a disaster. More in this report from Candice Jackson.
Insurance indemnity plans can provide countries with access to claims following a disaster. However, recovery funds can take 6 months to a year or even longer to be released. After learning from Hurricane Ivan in Grenada in 2004, regional heads developed CARIF, a parametric insurance plan that issues payments to governments within 14 days, according to CEO Isaac Anthony.
So in a sense, we are able to make a determination of the loss almost immediately after the event, which then gives us the ability to determine whether or not the government's policies would have triggered.
It consists of various policies for specific claims. CRIF has already approved a US $44 million payout to Grenada to address the immediate needs of the Tri-Island state following the passage of Hurricane Beryl on July 1st. Furthermore, under its policy for damages to utilities, CRIF will release US $11.5 million.
The payout to Grenlec is the first such payout to an electric utility in the region. Similarly, the payout to Nawasa is the first payout to a water utility in the Caribbean.
That is because Grenada is among the first countries to subscribe to the utility plans.
Most countries are still well below where they ought to be in terms of coverage. CRIF, as an insurance company and based on the business plan that would have been approved by our regulator, we are able to offer insurance coverage of up to $150 million per country per peril.
Trinidad and Tobago is a party to the tropical cyclone plan under CRIF and has benefited from it in recent years. As a result, Tobago received 3 payments for excessive rainfall disasters occurring in 2019, 2020, and 2021, totaling US $1.21 million. CRIF is also exploring adding plans to assist with losses in agriculture and tourism.
Because a lot of the hotels are located along the coast, it makes them particularly vulnerable. And we believe that we can certainly work to develop a model that would help respond to the needs of our hotel sector. Again, it is very difficult for them sometimes to get the required insurance.
Despite being grateful for the assistance from CRIF, the government of Grenada says it is a drop in the bucket on the road to recovery. The northern parts of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique experienced extensive damage from Hurricane Beryl, severely affecting utilities. Electricity crews from Trinidad and Tobago and Barbados are assisting with restoration. Meanwhile, CRIF has also approved a US $16 million payout for Jamaica and is finalizing a US $75 million payout for 10 countries due to Beryl. Candace Jackson, Tobago Updates Television News.
Well, the National Trade Union Center of Trinidad and Tobago, NATOC, is urging Finance Minister Con Imbe to allow government ministries to facilitate salary deductions for loan repayments. This appeal comes as NATOC partners with WeLoan, a subsidiary of WePay, to offer back-to-school loans to union members. Starting on Monday, members of various unions, including the PSA, SWWTU, TIWU, and NUGFW, can apply for loans for school supplies ranging from $5,000 to $10,000. WePay, licensed to lend money, will grant these loans only if they are repaid through salary deductions. NATOC's General Secretary Michael Anisette criticized government ministries for previously blocking access to similar loans by not allowing salary deductions. He called on Minister Imbe to ensure all ministries comply, highlighting the importance of educational support. As dengue cases rise in Trinidad and Tobago, the Ministry of Health hosted a press conference today to further sensitize the public about this viral infection. Chief Medical Officer Dr. Roshan Parasram shared information about the mosquito and how it infects people. The County Medical Officer for Coroni, Dr. Jeanine St. Bernard, spoke about the symptoms of dengue fever, and the Specialist Medical Officer in the Insect Vector Control Division, Dr. Usafu Fraser, listed the different breeding sites for the Aedes aegypti. Here's more.
Dr. Roshan Parasram shared that the dengue virus is not transmitted through respiratory droplets, unlike in flu-like illnesses or COVID-19.
The main mode of transmission is via vectors. The primary vectors are the Aedes aegypti mosquito, which is, of course, endemic to Trinidad and Tobago and other parts of the Caribbean. and to a lesser extent the Aedes albopictus mosquito. The albopictus is also known as the tiger mosquito, which is endemic to parts of Southeast Asia, but we have seen it in Trinidad as well.
Dr. Parasram stated that the Aedes aegypti mosquito becomes infective 8 to 12 days after consuming blood and will remain so for the rest of its life. Dr. Janine St. Bernard said the symptoms of dengue are a high fever of 40 degrees Celsius or 104 degrees Fahrenheit, severe headache, pain behind the eyes, muscle and joint pain, nausea, vomiting, swollen glands, and rash. She then spoke about managing the virus's symptoms.
In terms of diagnosis and treatment, there's no specific treatment for dengue, but the focus would be on treating pain symptoms. And for persons who've had dengue, they know sometimes they're at home and they would take acetaminophen, paracetamol to manage their pain. We discourage the use of non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs.
These drugs are ibuprofen and aspirin, as they can increase the risk of bleeding. She also noted that persons suffering from severe dengue should be hospitalized. Moreover, Dr. Osafo Fraser shared that once water is stagnant and relatively clean, female Aedes aegypti mosquitoes would lay their eggs. He said that it is easy to disrupt the life cycle of a mosquito by making sure water sources are not around.
So one of the things we recommend is you tightly cover those containers, or you can use a fine mesh to make sure that the mosquitoes do not get there. Because the Aedes aegypti mosquito actually lays the eggs on the sides of those containers, you do want to make sure that you're cleaning the sides of the barrels as well.
Fraser also advised people to properly dispose of old tires, empty plant pots and plates and turn them down, change the water in indoor vases weekly, and wash their plants weekly to prevent mosquito breeding sites. Ariana Scipio, Tobago Updates Television News.
You're watching the Tobago Updates Television News. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Tobago Updates. Our sports report is next.
Get your quality furniture and appliances at Standards. Frigidaire gas range $599. Serta base and mattress $1,899. RC 50-inch smart 4K TV as low as $2,599. Yes, at Standard. Nobody beats us on price. Believe it.
Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules, or if you are having a cooking day off.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up and look, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show. No more live.
Welcome to a sports report. In a thrilling display of football prowess, Cummings Hill and Sinclair's coaching school clashed in the eagerly anticipated final of the Shanfokujo Lewis Bethel Village Football League. The match, filled with dramatic twists and turns, saw both teams delivering standout performances, ultimately culminating in a nerve-wracking penalty shootout. Marcus Daniel tells us more.
Cummings Hill and Sinclair's coaching school faced off in the final of the Shanfokujo Lewis Bethel Village Football League last weekend. Cummings Hill took an early lead with Kyron Matthews scoring in the 11th minute. They doubled the advantage in the 16th minute thanks to Daniel Richards. Coaching school responded in the 27th minute with a goal from Kuan Roberts. The comeback was completed in the second half when Javier King capitalized on a keeper's spill. Quezon Sharp, who had provided an earlier assist, scored in the 64th minute to give coaching school their first lead. As time was running out, Trevell Williams equalized with a header into an empty net, sending the match to penalties. Cummings were flawless in their 3 penalty kicks, while coaching school missed their second, ultimately costing them the match. In the battle for third place, Mount Pleasant Youth triumphed over Risen Hill. Mount Pleasant showed their intent early, firing wide in the 7th minute and forcing the keeper into a save in the 10th minute. However, Riseland scored first through a penalty awarded for a handball converted by Shannon Sandy. Mount Pleasant equalized with a well-placed header from Navi Roach. With both teams unable to score again in open play, the match was decided by a penalty shootout. In sudden death, Riseland Hill missed their shot and Roach secured a win for Mount Pleasant by finding the roof of the net. Marcus Daniel, Tobago Update Sports.
The Division of Community Development, Youth Development and Sport is hosting its annual sports camp targeting children aged 7 to 14. The camp promises a diverse range of activities aimed at fostering young talent and encouraging physical fitness. Here's more from Marcus Daniel once again.
The Division of Community Development, Youth Development and Sport is gearing up to host its annual sport camp from Monday, July 22nd to Friday, August 2nd, 2024. Targeting children aged 7 to 14 years, the camp will run from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. daily, with meals provided for all registered participants. With the aim of nurturing young talent and promoting physical activity, the camp will be held across multiple venues, each offering specialized sports. Bonaccord will be buzzing with basketball, football and netball activities. Dwight York Stadium is set to transform into a hub for track and field events along with archery training. Cricket and football enthusiasts will converge at Moriah, while Mount St. George will focus exclusively on football. Pigeon Point offers a unique experience with dragon boat racing, specifically for older age group of 14 to 17 years. Plymouth, Signal Hill and Speyside will host a mix of football, netball, futsal and cricket. Scarborough Secondary School is the place for those keen on volleyball and chess. Shaw Park will cater for a variety of interests with basketball, netball, tennis, cricket and golf activities. Limited spaces are available and early registration is encouraged to secure a spot in the program. For more information, interested parties are advised to contact the Division of Community Development, Youth Development and Sport. Marcus Daniel, Tobago Update Sports.
And that's how we end our sports report. More news and the weekend weather report after this.
Only thing that's on my mind is who's gonna run this town tonight.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supply specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Like this.
Don't worry, my wife will fuck it up. Make me happy whenever you fuck it. So me you're very hard, fiesta, fun.
This one is for the people and them who don't care what nobody else have to say about them.
Them none of cash, what you have, what you know about.
It's too early for that.
You want good on. You do good enough, line. Girl, who the club, girl, like.
Who's the one friend can drink all the alcohol no matter what?
Put a bottle and spoon and a cup in my hand and I'm winding up on my man.
Dream. It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Now for the weekend weather update from the TNT Met Office. Tonight, mostly settled despite a few lingering showers and the low chance of the odd thunderstorm. Tomorrow, a few showery spells, particularly during the morning period, will interrupt a generally fair, hazy and at times breezy day. Gusty winds and street or flash flooding are possible in the event of showers or heavy downpours. There remains a low chance of the odd thunderstorm. On Sunday, generally sunny and hazy and at times breezy, despite the low chance of a few spotty showers. Mostly fair but hazy night is expected. And that's how we end this evening's newscast. Here's a recap of the headlines before we go. Fatal crash on Claude Noel Highway. Senator Lawrence Hislop saddened by Tobago's crime situation. Monetary donations also needed for islands impacted by Hurricane Beryl. And in sports, Cummings Hill wins Shamfa Lewis Football League. I'm Patricia Nicholson Richards, thanking you so much for joining us, wishing you a great night and an even greater weekend.